All right, thanks, Ray. It's a little bit early to start this kind of thing, but Ken's going to talk about bad habits and trying to make things right. I guess when I think cowboy, I think about this guy right here. He's been making this trip to Ohio for the last 6 years. I don't think we had any speeding tickets this year, so that's good. I know you did last time I was here. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome from the Bighorn Mountains of Wyoming, Mr. Ken McNabb.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we're supposed to have 2 horses. We've got 1. The other one's on its way, so that's all right. We'll get started here. Hold on. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Shut the barn gate for a minute. All right, let's get to know each other a little bit. Give me your name again. Dan? Okay, Dan, tell us about the horse. Okay, let me have the horse for a minute. All right, 16-year-old horse, bought at auction. Go ahead with the rest of the story. Okay, so they were on a kids camp, and the gentleman that they got her from said she was broke for kids to ride, and that is not the case, okay? So, Dan, the first thing I did, I hate groundwork. God gave me 2 legs, one for either side of the horse. They're not for walking around on the ground. But it's necessary to establish a relationship or leadership. So we come in here, and the first thing I notice that she does, she takes your head and knocks you forward. Now, listen, if you come down here, I don't care if it's Wednesday morning and there's 50 people or if it's Friday and it's 500, this is a nervous place to be. So you don't react here the way you do at home. That's kind of how it happens to us, right? We take our good horse, not our bad horse, our good horse, and we go out on a group trail ride, and the whole thing falls apart, and we can't figure out why. The reason why is because we're not being the leader we were at home, okay? This horse is lacking in leadership. She's not accepting the leadership Dan's offering, and she's lacking in leadership. So the first thing she did is whack Dan out of the way. That's why I took the horse. She's now standing rock solid still, not moving a foot, and all I did was spank her head once with both hands and then shoo her away from me once. Leadership is developed so quickly because it's all inside you. What happens inside you is where the leadership comes from. Okay? What we do with our hands is really important. But I don't think I'm going to say one thing this weekend more important than what's happened here in the last 4 minutes. Like developing this right here. Watch this horse. I have absolute total leadership. Get back. I have absolute total respect of this horse. I didn't know groundwork. I've never seen this horse before. I simply know Dan's not going to tolerate that kind of behavior at home. And so I stepped in here and did what he wouldn't feel comfortable doing, right? I'm going to tell you right now, this is the most important part. No matter what else I say to Dan, everything I say to him is going to revolve around leadership, okay? Get that piece down. All right, I want you to stand here for a minute and make sure she offers you that same respect before you get on, right? That respect is so important. Here, I'm going to preach. I must have been dreaming about Billy Graham for the last month because I have been the preachingest son of a gun you ever run into at all of my clinics lately. And I'm going to get up on this horse and preach on it. When we take a hold of a horse, we are putting ourselves into that horse, or we're not. It's our choice, one way or the other, right? So make sure what you're doing with that horse, like push that horse back. That's too close. No. Don't push that horse back. Push that horse back. Like make her move away from your energy, okay? Now when I talk energy, I am not talking about Yoda and the Force. I'm talking about you ate grape nuts for breakfast and you've got energy. I'm talking about exhibit some movement and make something happen because that's how it happens in the horse's world. In the horse's world, we turn him loose in a pen with other horses, and you're going to see it here this morning. They're going to bring 2 groups of 3 horses each into a pen right here, and they're going to turn them all loose. And when they turn all those horses loose, you're going to watch somebody kick and squeal. And leadership is going to be developed. So in America today, here's a word we don't use. We do not use the word dominate anymore in America today. That is a bad word, unless you're talking sports. If you're talking sports, you might say that the Lions dominated the Cowboys. You might say that. But otherwise, we don't use the word dominate because we want to act like that's a bad thing. If you do not dominate this horse, it's going to dominate you. Now, you can do it kindly, and you need to do it kindly. But if you do not have dominance over this horse, right? It's early on in the book of Genesis. God gave Adam dominion over all the animals. Dominion and dominance are the same root word. You have to have that dominance. So when you turn around, you tell her to get back. I don't want you to push and just get her back. Hey, act like she's going to do it. Believe she's going to do it, right? I told you I've been dreaming about Billy Graham. You got to believe. Like, you got to make it happen, okay? All right, go ahead and get on her. Now, if that won't make you nervous, the first 3 things you do inside the clinic, the instructor yells at you about. That's a way to kind of warm a guy up easy and gentle like. Okay, so what I want you to do, Dan, is I want you to ride her around for a minute. So Dan and I talked for a couple minutes at the stall last night. Not her stall, because I had not seen her yet, but at my stalls, he came by with Matt, and we talked for a couple of minutes, and he told me she originally bucked really hard. He said now there's just no softness to her. There's no real control. So I kind of want you to just figure eight her out here a little bit. I want to watch this mare ride. Yeah, just do a figure eight. Okay? All right. So we're going to talk about circles of control, right? Pull her head up. Pull her head up on one rein. But just pull her head up and get after her now. Now, pull her head around and get after her. Get after her. Pull her head around. Now, get after her. Shorten that rein. Get your hand out in front of you. Get your hand out in front of you. Shorten that rein. Okay, go ahead and stop for a second. When I say get after her, I want to be his kid. Because my dad never spanked me quite like that. I'm picking on Dan pretty hard this morning because I want you guys to get the message. When my dad spanked me, it was more than that. Right? When this horse comes out here and bucks like this, if we want to get after it to change something. So I had a lady come up to me at an expo this spring, and she said to me, my horse is bucking, how do I fix it? And I'm going to be honest with you, I've gotten kind of blunt with people lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I turned 50 here in the next year. I don't know. I've just gotten kind of blunt. I looked at her and I said, ma'am, when it bucks, can you stay on? She said, no. I said, then you can't fix it. It's real simple. When a horse bucks you off, he gets the ultimate release. And so between when you hit the ground and when you get back on, there's this big space of release. And if you can't change that, you keep teaching him it's okay to buck you off. Doesn't matter that you hate it. Doesn't matter that you get up mad. Doesn't matter that you get up crying. Doesn't matter if you get up hurt. He got a giant release. So I want to take that release away, and I've got to replace it with that was bad behavior. I don't spend a lot of time talking about spanking horses, but when one crow hops around like that, they need a spanking. So in the future, Dan, what I want you to do, and the reason I had him stop is because we're past the moment, right? We're kind of past it. So in the future, what I want you to do is bend her nose to your knee. Once you're secure, okay, bend her nose to your knee, and then wail on her with your legs until it quits. And then wail on her with your legs. Not spurs. You don't have to have spurs on to do this. Just bang on her. I don't care if you have spurs on. Bang on her and then drive her in circles and figure eights for 30 seconds. And then act like it didn't happen. Okay? So to give you a window into the discipline that I grew up with, my aunt and uncle, they lived with us for a while. Their house burned down. So suddenly there was a whole bunch of young kids all the same age living in the same house, and we tended to bicker. And all the adults dealt with it differently. My mother would nag us, and my aunt, they would nag us. They'd be like, oh, kids, don't do that. Don't bicker. Don't you know these are your best friends? And they would. My uncle had a whole different approach. My uncle would not say a word, no warning. He would see two kids bickering. He'd walk up behind you, grab you by the outside of your head, slam your heads together, and walk off. I promise you that will stop bickering. I've never done that to my kids because I really remember the headache. But I'm telling you, Uncle Jeff would just grab our heads, crack them together, and just walk off. Never say a word. It ended the bickering, right? And then in the future, after you did it a couple of times, before you started to bicker, you would look around. Make sure he was nowhere nearby before you started to bicker. There was no emotion in it. He wasn't upset with us. He didn't have to chew us out. He just cracked your heads together and walked off. That's the emotion I want you to have. I want you to get after her, spank her hard, and go right back to what you were doing. Okay? All right, so go ahead and get started. I want you to start trotting that circle and figure 8 again. Okay. All right. Let's see. John, I want you to just kind of, nope, hang on. Stay on the ground for a minute, John. All right, I want small circles right here. Dan, small circles. Okay, do you guys see what I see? This horse's head is up in the air. I can slide my fist underneath the back of that saddle. She's got a crank there. I want you to start bending her to one side. Oh, okay. Okay. Lots going on here. Lots going on. We've got the tongue over the bit because she doesn't like it. I mean, that's why. I don't know why a horse does that. Once they do, it's a bitter habit, and there's things we can do to fix it. To start with, we'll just try tightening the head stall. It was plenty tight. We're just going to try tightening it anyways. Okay, what I want you to do, walk her in a circle here for a minute. We're going to slow down. John, I promise I'm coming to you. Walk her in a circle. Now, keep your hands in front of you and shorten your rein. I want your hands handcuffed to the saddle horn. Okay? Don't get your hands way out here. Now, let go of your outside rein a little bit. Put your outside rein. Oh, I forgot. They have trouble hearing down in here when you're in here. There you go. Walk her forward. Push her forward till that nose starts to come the inside and soften. When that nose comes down and softens, what do I mean by soften? I want her face to go vertical and come towards the point of her shoulder. When that nose comes towards the point of her shoulder and she quits pulling on your hand, I want you to release it and go the other way. Right there. Drop it and go the other way. Let's just start with some basic control here. Okay, go the other way. Slow your hands down. Pick up that rein. Pick up that rein. Faster your horse's feet move, the slower your hands move. Write that rule down. Faster your horse's feet move, the slower your hands move. There you go. Wait for that softness. Now pick up the other one. Don't worry about him. He's on the ground. He'll get out of your way. He's an athletic bugger. I watch him. He's good. Okay, ride that horse around there. Soften that nose. Let's see. Ray, does Weaver have a booth here? A booth? Can you get me a chin strap if they've got one? A chin strap and any short piece of rope. There you go. All right, get your hand up. Okay, couple things we're not going to work on. Just actually park for a second. Both of you. I want your hands by the saddle horn all the time. Okay? We don't do what we call the wallet grab with the reins. Reaching around here, grabbing your wallet. Your hands has no business there, especially not on this horse. Okay? We're not itching the back of your leg. Your hands don't need to be down here. Not on these horses. Okay? I don't ever do it. But for sure, right now, if you've got a horse that you think might buck you off, this horse is just spooky and buddy sour. This one we already know she'll crow hop around a little bit. If you think you've got a horse that might buck you off, you better keep your hands pretty near the center. The reason isn't so you can grab the saddle horn. It's because the center is where your balance is. When your hands come out here, so does your balance. When your hand comes back here, it takes your upper body like this, and that screws your balance up. You want to ride one that bucks, you better stay centered. I don't care. Leather would be better, yes. Leather would be best. I want you to stay centered. Okay, John. This is Dallas. He's a 4-year-old gelding, a little bit spooky. Buddy sour. A little bit tough on the bit. Okay. Overall, nice horse, but not that fun to ride. Pretty much got it. Okay, John, I want you to go ahead and get on him and just ride him around for a minute. We're going to kind of see how this goes here. I appreciate these guys coming out here, especially I picked on Dan so hard right off the bat, but I really want that kind of activity needs to go away in a horse, like now. You got a 16-year-old mare. We're not going to wait for her to mature. We're kind of past that. It's time for her to change. And Dan gives his time. I mean, Dan's whole life is spent at a kids camp, and so we know this horse cannot be of value there at this point. So we've got to change that, right? Go ahead and ride him around a little bit. I just want you ride him around. Buddy Sour is not that hard to fix, right? What you do is get him near his friends and then work him really hard. Work him in the presence of his friends really hard, and then let him rest when he goes away. Okay, I want you to turn him to the left. Okay, keep those hold that rein. Hold that rein to the left. You see this little horse, a couple times now, he's taken his nose up and to the right. Like he wants to run off through that bit. He wants to just kind of go his own direction. Does he get kind of light in the front end and hop his front end up a little bit? Yep, sometimes. Okay. All right, John or Dan, come on down here. I'm going to have both of you start with the same exercise. I'm going to let you start at a walk, and then we're moving to a trot right away. I want you to do the exercise I had Dan doing a minute ago. One rein, your inside rein, just walking this horse in a circle. Outside rein has a little slack on it. Inside, outside. The first rein you pick up becomes the inside rein, the direct rein. Okay, so pick up that direct rein. And what I want to do is I want mental dominance over my horse. Yeah, I'm going to use that a lot. I'm going to use that phrase, dominance. I want mental dominance over my horse. I want him mentally to think he needs to have my permission for everything when I'm on his back, because he does. Okay? I ask more out of my horses than most people I know. I'm not kidding. I can stand in a room full of horsemen, and I'm going to tell you, I ask more out of my horses than most people I know, because I ask my horse to run down a rock sagebrush-covered side of a mountain and rope a cow on the way, and stop, turn around, and go back the other way. Don't trip, don't fall on me, and by the way, keep paying attention to what I ask the whole time. I ask a lot. I need that horse to wait for me and come back to me. The only way that I know to get mental dominance over a horse is to get inside their brain. The only way that I know how to get inside their brain is to get their mouth soft. The only way to get their mouth soft is to move their feet. Right? So the real way to get mental dominance is to move their feet in the direction you choose consistently. Good. Hold that rein right there. Release it. Right there. Release it, Dan. Good. Go the other way. Slow your hand down. You see how that mare jerks her head every time you touch the rein? Slow your hand down just a little bit. There. Release it. Go the other side. Push that mare with, like, I want energy. Fast walk, or not a trot yet, but fast walk. Okay? All right, this little horse wants to drop his nose down almost to the ground, which is really great. Maybe he's that way naturally. Maybe he's been taught that. It's really great, but I want you to hold your hand, and I want him to bring his head up and bring his chin towards his chest. And I want him to soften in the pole and give you that face. Now, this exercise right here is so simple. Keep him moving, keep him moving. Forward movement all the time. Holy smokes, it's getting warm in here. Okay. Hold that rein until that horse's nose comes to you. Okay. Let go of the outside rein. Hold that rein until that nose comes to you. There. Okay. Forward. Push him forward. Right there. There we run into that same thing we were running into. Okay. Now, you got tension on both reins. I want slack on that right rein. I want your left rein to hold it till his nose. Okay, we're gonna talk here for a second. Your hand is doing a lot of this, okay, and so your horse is doing a lot of this. I want you to lock that hand down and hold it. Okay, hop down off of him for a second. Hello, little man. How are you? Okay, right here. Watch the slack on the outside and my hand position on the inside. Okay? I lock this hand down. My hands could be handcuffed together, right? Now, you've probably never been handcuffed, but I have. Only because my dad owned a pair and my sister and I handcuffed each other all the time. Okay, so keep those hands together, slide that rein back and forth, push. When he pulls on that rein like that, push with your legs. You will never pull a horse to softness. You will only push him to softness, right? So don't pull harder, push with your legs. When he jerks on your hand like that, your elbows are locked. They're not going anywhere. But you push with your hands, and you drive this little horse forward. Right here. I don't want him overbent, okay? I'm going to ask you guys all a question. When was the last time you did anything with your horse productive, like go down the trail, chase a cow, ride around a reining pattern with him looking at his tail? Yeah, never. We never do that. But somehow, in horsemanship circles, we've decided it's important that they be able to walk looking at their tail. If I end up with him looking at his tail, that's because he's not getting soft and I keep adding more pressure. I don't want him looking at his tail. I want his nose out in front of him. So I lock my hand right here, and I wait, and I wait. And what I'm really looking for is this horse to drop his nose and come down towards the point of his shoulder. Now, if it's not happening, I shorten my rein a little bit, and that ends up with him bent around further. But I really don't want that very much. Now, we're headed for the out gate. There, right there, I release him. Pick up on the other side, right there. Just come to his mouth. You watch the way my hands move. I don't even have time to, I do it so naturally I don't even have time to tell you. Watch this hand. I take the rein, and then I use my left hand to pull it through like a martingale. Okay? That chin strap is going to, yeah, hold on just a second. Right there, release it. Okay? All right, I want you to work on that for a few minutes. Work on your hand placement on that. That'll change a bunch. There you go, John. All right, you guys, we're going to rig something up a little different over here. We've got, no, leave the chin strap on. Leave the chin strap on. Leave the chin strap on. Oh, yeah, leave that on. Oh, no, we're done. We're, yeah. Okay. Is there another keeper here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. This mare is getting her tongue over the bit. Well, I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough leather here. We're going to live without it. Do we have, I need a piece of baler twine. So what we're doing is we're picking that bit up into the upper corners of her mouth, okay? And we want to get that bit picked up where she can't actually get her tongue over it as easily. And we have to be careful because it's a leverage bit and we end up putting a little more pressure on her nose like a hackamore, and normally I do this on a snaffle. So you want to be really careful with it, but I don't want her getting her tongue over that bit anymore. So I'm going to start off with it as loose as I can, and then we'll build on it from there. All right, same exercise. Let's go back to work. Yep, just hold that rein. Hold that rein right there. There, release it. Okay, when I tell you release it and you miss it, just hold it till the next one. Okay? What we release is what we teach. Let go of that right rein. Let go of that right rein. You don't need pressure on that one. There. Release it. Go to the left. Yeah, sorry. You're right. Put pressure on that outside rein. Pressure. There you go. Okay. Pick up the inside rein and release the pressure on the outside rein. There you go. Good. Good. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right. John, I want you to stop for a second. I'm going to do you a real quick favor. No, I love long reins. I wouldn't have them any other way. But sometimes when we have a real short-legged horse, we just have to do something a little different. Okay? Ride that horse around. All right, I want both of you to take this exercise up to a trot. I want to pick him up to a trot. You're looking for the same response. Let's go to a trot. Yep. Move those feet. Get those feet moving. Okay. This exercise right here, well, these two guys work on this. This exercise is as boring as anything you can do. It's like counting rice, okay? It's absolutely boring, but it's so necessary because several things are happening. You're developing a soft response in your horse's mouth. You're also getting that mental dominance because you keep moving his feet in the direction you chose while his mouth gets soft, right? So you're changing things. You're working on your riding and your balance. Keep yourself in the center. Keep your hands together in the center. The next thing you're doing is working your horse's body, okay? The more we trot these horses in our chosen direction, all right, we have a lot of Amish folks in this building right now, and we'll have a lot more over the weekend. You know what we as English don't see very often is out of control Amish horses. I'm not saying they don't exist, they do exist. I know they exist. I've seen some of them, so have you, but they don't. In fact, I saw one yesterday hit the ditch. But it doesn't happen real frequently. You know why? Because they know what it means to be tired. They've worked. And children, horses, dogs, and children all need to be tired. Because when they're tired, they learn to control their own emotions. When your kid has never been tired, they have no emotional control, right? And your dog, a dog that's never been tired, hyper-spastic thing until they're too old to be around, right? Horses, dogs, and children need to be tired so they learn to control their own emotions. Well, you're not going to go home and plow the garden with your horse, maybe. You're not, some of you are, maybe. You're maybe not going to go trot your horse to town to go to the grocery store. So you've got to make that up. And if you are going to trot your horse to town to go to the grocery store and he's not safe to do it yet, you've got to make that work up. And this is where it happens. You want to work that horse's body until it starts to come around. Now, I want you to look at what's happening with Dan's horse, okay? John's horse is trotting around here doing a really nice job. Free, forward-moving little pony. I really like this little guy. He's cute as anything. Dan's horse is showing you why she's 16 and doesn't have a full-time job. You know kids like that. You know kids that are 22 years old, they've graduated college, they can't find a job, and instead they went home and told Dad how to live his life, right? I have kids that age. But they're both full-time employed, not by me. Okay, so keep her moving. What I want to get at is we've lost our forward go button. All of a sudden, you watch his legs. His feet are moving more than hers. He's having to whack, 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 whack to keep her moving. All right, Dan, I'm going to be honest with you. If I wanted to pedal, I'd ride a bicycle. Okay? I want you to take the end of that rein. I want you to kick her. When she doesn't move, I want you to take the end of that rein and smack her on the butt. We're going to come to a point today where we're going to say, Precious, either turn into a real bronc and we'll get you a full-time job doing that, or else get over it. One of the two. You look young enough and athletic enough, we can pull this off, okay? So when you ask her to move and she kind of says no, don't beg, don't nag. Crack her on the tail with that leather rein and tell her, move those feet. I am in control here. And then respond with kindness when she does. Let's not keep whacking and beating. No, make a statement, have an impact, move on. Okay, go ahead. Right there, yes, there you go. Now I'm going to talk to some of you guys about how you spank that horse. He did a fair job. I watched a guy the other day, I literally in a clinic the other day, I told the guy, spank him with your rein. He was like, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's how you spanked him? Like it hurt me more than it did the horse. When you spank that sucker, take it across and bring it back. And when it comes back, it has contact, and it makes a difference in the way they think. The reason you do it is because it's natural to them. Turn your horse loose with another one. What's he do? Bites him on the butt. My horse wants your horse to move. My horse reaches out, bites yours on the tail, and says, move your feet. Okay? When you whack him with that leather rein, His natural instinct is get forward. When you grab him in the belly with a spur, his natural instinct is go up. I want more forward and less up, especially out of this horse, okay? Soften your hands, bring that rein around. Good job. All right, I like what I'm seeing over here, John. We're sort of losing that ability to run through the shoulders. I like that. Move those feet. Keep them moving. Get that softness. Don't let him look up. Right? Right now he's looking where you tell him to look. Okay? Your parents ever tell you, John, look at me. Look me in the eyes when I'm talking to you? My dad said that a lot. Okay? I want him looking where you want him to look right now. Good. I like what I heard over there, Dan. We're moving that horse's feet. Now look for a chance to release her. Look for a chance, John and Dan both, to tell him, hey, good job, and drop the reins to him and give him slack. Because that's a really, really important piece. They have to believe they can win. If all you do is get on, jerk, whack, and spur, they're never going to win, and they're just going to get mad. And horses are like people. They do one of two things. They sull up or go postal. Right? That's one of two things. If they don't think they can win, they either quit or they go postal. One of the two. So you want to make sure you give that back to them and tell them, hey, good job. Drop the rein back and tell her, hey, good job. Release it and stand still and let her catch her breath for a minute. If she's doing good. If she's not doing, yeah, right, perfect. She's softened up. That's a perfect spot to tell her, hey, good job. Okay? Good, we're winning now. This is a pretty basic, simple exercise. Push with your legs right there. When he starts that stuff, you push with your legs. You use your heel and drive that horse's hindquarters up to his nose. Okay? What do I mean by that? I mean, I want his nose to come down, but I want you to drive his hind end up to his nose. Keep pushing him. There you go. Yes. Great. It's a little bit. It took you an hour. We're a little late, but that's all right. Better late than never. All right. Perfect. All right. Dan, find a spot to stop. Yes, this is a Ken McNabb endorsed tack product. Working on a deal with Weaver right now to get him to build it. Very, very important. If I can get Weaver to build this, the materials, I told him the materials are easy to find. They don't have to outsource these materials to any foreign countries or anything like that. It's all right here in America. Every ranch in America has got bucket loads of it. Okay. What we're doing here is just lifting this up a little bit. I don't know if you've seen the phenomenon here lately where every cowboy kid in the world wants a crow's foot bridle. So we're just giving you kind of a modified crow's foot. And what we're doing, is we're picking that bridle up off of the horse's nose just a little bit, making sure we stay free of the airway and keep that bit up over her tongue. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd ride with this really pretty endorsed Ken McNabb piece of tack for quite a few times before I take it off because she needs to not get that tongue over the bit. There you go. So necessity is the mother of invention. I was 19 years old. I went to a clinic. The clinician, who shall remain nameless, really offended me, like badly. Made me really angry. He couldn't talk to me without being derogatory and ignorant, rude. And so I left the clinic. And a few years later, I had a horse brought to me in training. And they said, this horse has got a real bad habit of getting the tongue over the bit, and it can't be fixed. And clinician so-and-so told me it's not fixable. Right away, I was very motivated to fix it, because clinician so-and-so wasn't somebody on my likable person's list, right? And so I thought about it for a while, and I did this, and I did it for 30 days while I rode the horse, and problem solved, right? Super simple. If you get one that's getting their tongue over the bit, just tie that son of a gun up in the corner of their mouth where they can't get over it, And normally I do it with a snaffle. He doesn't have a snaffle. And go on riding him, okay? It'll take a minute for you to find your control again because it changes things. There we go. Good, Dan. I like what we're seeing. I like everything we're seeing. I'm not quite ready to call it perfect, but we're gaining. Right? There you go. Good job, John. You pushed him up in there. Soften that nose. Now, John's horse is spooky, right? So that's part of it. John's horse is a little bit buddy sour. Okay? So, John, I want you to stay real focused. No matter what happens right now, I want you to stay real focused on working your horse. Don't focus on anybody else or anything else. So, hey, keep working. Keep working. Don't look at me. Don't look at anything else. You work. Move his feet and get what you want done. Keep working. Don't look around. Stay focused. Stay focused. Keep working. Don't fall off either. That's embarrassing. Keep working. Okay? All right. There we go. This kid can ride a little bit. We can have some fun. Stay focused. You guys think it's too funny. John doesn't see as much humor as some of you do. Actually, he's grinning pretty good. Okay? Here's one of the mistakes we make when we're out riding our horse spooks. What do? Stop, get him under control, calm him down. Right. Release and reward. He spooked, you released him and rewarded him. And you wonder why he spooks. This is how he thinks about it. He's like, I was going down the trail, and I jumped 3 feet sideways, and they liked it so much they stopped me and loved on me. If I jump 6 feet sideways, they'll probably get off. Okay? You don't change what you're doing. Stay focused. Work your horse. Stay focused. How do we desensitize a horse? We do the same thing over and over and over until he doesn't pay attention anymore. Whoa, pull that nose around. Stay focused. All right? So I don't want to desensitize this little guy. I want to change the way he thinks. I want to change what he's doing, how he's thinking. We're winning over here with Dan's horse, but we still got a little ground to cover with John's. John's was looking all shiny and good because we weren't really affecting the problem. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to see a fat guy get out of breath in a hurry. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Wow. Shh. Wow. Shh. Stay busy. Don't quit. Ride him. Come on now. Keep working. Don't worry. Don't look at me. Change what you're doing a little bit. Not you. I'm talking to the audience. You keep doing what you're doing. Anybody got some oxygen? John needs it. I'm going to tell you what. Those Colt starters, this ground's about a foot deep. You're going to see those poor kids get out of breath. There, good. Reach up and pet on him. Reach up and pet on him. Reach up and pet on him. That horse is like, John, trust me, I will keep us away from the maniac. Wow! Get busy. Keep him busy, John. Wow! Bad part about taking the hat off is all the people up there can see the bald spot on top of my head. Wow! Wow! We can keep it up. Wow! Till we get a change. Wow! Yeah. Good, right there. Pet on him. Pet on him. Because I spooked and he didn't do anything. That's when you pet on him. Until then, just keep him busy. Keep moving his feet. I'm going to tell you right now, all of you with cell phones, maybe you want to get 911 on speed dial. So I'm going to have a heart attack here in a minute. Good, John. Good job. Right here, we'll get dirt all over the sound equipment. Good, good, right off, just right off. He just needs to listen to you. Good, good. He's still spooking, but he's coming back. Okay, give him a little break. He did good. Go ahead and just stop him and rest him, pet on him. Good job. I am that person. Absolutely. People are like, oh, I want to intern with you. No, you don't. Put him to work. Put him to work. Don't let him just leave. Oh, man. My wife is here. She's going to kill me for that. Oh. Keep him busy. Good. You step on my hat, we're going to have a conversation. Good. Reach up and pet on him. Love on him for a minute. No, don't right away. You act like you don't trust me. All right, Dan, we're doing good down there. Okay. Dan, go ahead and rest her for a minute. Step off of her. Just step right off of her, loosen her cinch. She did good. Give her a big win. Not bad, actually. Little spook there, but nothing that was going to dump anybody. We're gaining. One of the things that the Hollywood production crews that I've worked with love about me is my ability to improvise.
10 minutes, 10 minutes.
One of the things that Ray and his crew may not like about me could be my ability to improvise as I steal stuff from around the arena. Where are you going, Dan? Get her busy. Get her busy. Don't stop her. Get her busy. No, don't lead her around, Dan. Make something happen. Move her body. No, not. Yeah, there you go. Two-ring circus. What's he sweating for? He's got 4 legs. There you go. Good. Now, can you imagine what would have happened if I'd have grabbed that trash bag when we started? Right? We'd have had a whole different approach. He'd have been blowing his mind. So, right there, Dan, is that leadership. She has a right to be scared. Plastic bag comes at her out of nowhere. Move her feet. You determine where they go and offer leadership. Take the fear away. Right? That's what it is. Fear. And what the fear is, I don't know if I'm safe or not. Because the way they've existed, right? So, why do horses reproduce in the wild so much faster than most of the other grazing animals? About the only grazing animal reproducing as fast in the wild right now as horses is white-tailed deer east of the Mississippi. Okay, white-tailed deer east of the Mississippi are reproducing as fast as horses. But otherwise, horses are outdistancing all the wild grazing animals in the wild. Okay? Why? Because they have a heightened fright and flight reflex. When they get scared, they get out of dodge. Well, that means that what we know about horses is they should all run themselves to death, because a horse is that animal that will gladly run through a barbed wire fence and cut off all four legs to avoid being attacked by a piece of toilet paper. So how come they don't run to extinction? Because they have a herd hierarchy, what we call the pecking order, right? And we think the pecking order is all about feed, but it's not. Feed is the high-risk pay that they get when they take responsibility, okay? So the horse that's highest on the pecking order has to be the most vigilant, because he's the one that tells the whole herd to run. So the horse that's lowest on the pecking order, he might spook and run off a lot, but nobody goes with him. The second lowest horse, he spooks and runs off, but only him and number one go. The third horse, he spooks and runs off, but it's only him and 2 and 1. But when you get up to the highest, when he says run, everybody goes, okay? Why is that relevant to you? Because you better be the highest. If you're not the highest horse on the pecking order, you're the lowest. There's only 2 of you, you and him. So if you're not the highest on the pecking order, how do you establish that? By moving their feet. Not by beating them, not by abusing them, by moving their feet. How are you doing? Good. Moving your feet. And they're not broken. Okay, so, good. John, give him a little break. Reach up and pet on him. Love on him a little bit. Absolutely stay slack and relaxed and trust him. Okay? The scary things that happen in life aren't planned. That's why we don't plan them here. He doesn't know if I'm going to scare him or love on him. Because when you're riding down the trail, you don't say, oh man, at 11:15 today, there's a whitetail coming out right from underneath my horse's nose. I better be ready. It doesn't work that way. You're riding down the trail, and all of a sudden it happens. And that's the response I want, a horse that can control his own emotions. I don't need him to be void of fear. That's not fair. I've never been void of fear once in my life. Lots of things scare me. But if you panic, you're of no value to anybody. Right? Same with your horse. It's okay for him to have a little fear. He just can't panic. He has to know enough to stand still and go through it. Okay? We got about 2 minutes left. Tighten your cinch and step on. Don't walk her forward. Don't anything. Tighten your cinch and step on. We're going to be a little bit rude. I always tighten my cinch and walk my horse a couple steps, just make sure nothing's pinching. I'm intentionally being a little bit rude to Princess here because she came in the pen really rude. Walk off.
5 minutes, Ken. 5.
5 minutes. Perfect. Trot off. Lope off. Come on. Now, wait. You just kicked her like 5 times. Stop. 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 Oh, damn. You're in trouble. Okay. This time, when you walk off, squeeze, bump, spank. When you trot off, squeeze, bump, spank. When you lope off, squeeze, bump, spank. Don't kick, 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 kick. You're not pedaling a bicycle. Go ahead and do it again. That's the 3rd kick. There you go. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Good job. Good job. Bring him back around. Turn him around. That wasn't a bad response. I'm not going to get mad at him, but move his feet a little bit. Let him know it was the wrong response. Wasn't a bad response. Okay, you guys. Good job. Dan, go ahead and slow back down. We're going to be right on the edge of running out of time. So you guys, give these guys a round of applause for doing a great job this morning. They've done amazing. I appreciate both of them coming out here and being willing to be picked on. We're going to be here all weekend long. Let's keep having fun, you guys, and thank you very much. We'll see you for the next demo.